Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Hey, the question is, where to go next? We still have to look for the hideout, we have to look for Jay. Yeah, we'll have to talk with Argenta later, but I would say we just go and explore the rest of Footfall first. Yeah, we definitely have to go to the Adeptus Amasecus, so basically the bar. Yeah, for that we have to go to a different planet. For that we also should leave the galaxy, probably. The system. Leaving the galaxy might be a little bit much. Oh, you have half of the Adeptus Astartes army, Diana. That's so cool. But so never really played? Or did you get to play at least a little bit?
I always have a backup plan.
You know, every place where you see like a decent amount of cover is like, are we gonna fight here? Before Rogue Trader I didn't know anything about 40k, but so far it's been a blast. I just wanted to say, I think we just crossed the Adeptus Amasecus before. So let's go there, cause... Go down here first. Let's try that. Let's firstly explore the rest of this map and then go. How can we just overlook it? I think we just can't get down.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I do wonder, how do we get down here? Check or something? That looks like an elevator. Started off with Space Marines, Ultra Smurfs, but I decided I wanted to play the cool girls instead. So nice. Yeah, I guess the Space Marines are like the signature creature, warrior, whatever. Yeah.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Another A and V leaflet. Okay, but I think, at least for the time being, we can't explore this portion here. We need to do something.
Keep your wits about you.
To open up this thing here. I can talk to the exterminators. Ah. Greetings, sir. What brings you here? You want to watch us break our backs out here, huh? Footfall Utility Crew 3 is proud to work for the good of denizens and guests of the station. The man winks and salutes you with a flamer. So, what are you doing? Just burning rats. And some trash. And some parasites of other sorts. The district's under quarantine, you see. It got hit by something nasty. A disease. Or maybe it isn't a disease, just some bugs and worms would crawl out of some ship or other. It is a bit odd that it happened here and not at the docks, I grant you. Things like that usually start here. Start there. They even spray the place with some gunk to kill all the bugs and worms. But I guess something's up through. The families in the block way over there snuffed it. The leech wasted no time getting the district surrounded so that nobody could leave. So you don't exactly know what happened in the district? Disease, bugs, or something else? No, I don't. We don't want to find out. If something nasty cropped up, the right move is to contain it and kill it with fire. Not go in to see what it is and why it's there. Well, 40k, the universe of collateral damage is okay. So, how exactly did the victims die? Who knows? They found them in their hovels, already dead. Blue sores on their bodies, they stank something awful. Which is why the lot that found them didn't even risk looting the corpses. Good on them, I guess. Doesn't mean we let them out, of course. But so far, we can just ask. We can't try to get in there.
So, what measures have been taken to deal with the problem?
You're looking at them. We stand here, burn the foulness, and we've got people standing guard so that no one escapes. Put some mines down, a whole load of them, for the same reasons. The water, the sewers, all blocked off, to stop any communications getting around. The air's open, I suppose, but the foulness doesn't seem to be airborne. There haven't been any strange deaths outside the district yet. Nice.
So, are the people trapped in the quarantine zone being provided with aid of any kind?
Of course not. I mean, Reverend Hieronymus has been praying for their souls. It sounded more like retribution fell upon them, and rightly so. Not the most they can hope for.
Alright, so I wish to enter the quarantine zone.
No dice. Not gonna happen. I'm letting no one in. I'm telling you right now, bribes and intimidation won't work on me, so don't even try. You can file a petition with the Leech if you're so desperate. But my advice to you would be to go your merry way. Well, it's got plenty of nasty, dangerous holes. You don't have to die in this one in particular. You go in and die, and that means I'll have more corpses to burn. Lee turns away. Let me do that first. I mean, we are on good terms with the Leech, so I think it actually should be possible.
Keep my options open.
But yeah, sounds like you really like them, Thara and Baldur's Gate. Right, Leech residence. I mean, walking into a quarantine zone, what's the worst that could happen? Chaos spreading? Geh schlafen is go to sleep and mach Nickerchen, take a nap. Those would be roughly the translations. Oh, yeah. Right,
Always
Takara.
keep your eye on the price.
Yeah, you do. Nice, I can just walk in. Greetings, your lordship. I don't mean to hurry you, but I do hope that our deal is still in place. The station continues to experience increasingly severe shortages of provisions. The mask of cold courtesy vanishes from Vladim's face as soon as he takes the air, which is permeated with the miasmas of sewer stench. He grimaces, desperately fighting the urge to turn his head away, and eventually regains his composure. Sad thing that we couldn't just shower or something. But well, gotta deal with that. I'm the rogue trader. I don't need to shower. Thank you, Jennifer. And hi, Alistair. How are you? How's it going? Did you finish the game so far?
So, I was wondering, what is happening in the Shadow Quarters? Why is there quarantine?
Oh, that. He grimaces. Who knows? It could be an actual epidemic. Or perhaps the two families that started it all just came down with food poisoning at the same time. They're on a space station. The best solution here is to isolate the area and wait for the problem to resolve itself. Quite pragmatic. Yeah, and at least, come on, we're at least going to try to help them.
I wish to help the people in the quarantine zone. I will have medicine delivered to them from my ship.
I can't bar you from doing so, but I can't help but note that it's not the wisest course of action, with all due respect, your lordship.
You know, a man who introduced himself as a servant of House Chorda asked to have a word with me. And then, imagine the odds. Someone blew his brains out.
My name doesn't look surprised. The Envers again, I presume. Those anarchical degenerates don't care whom they shoot, be it my servants, yours, or those in the employ of House Chorda. I suspect that this agent wished to negotiate a deal that would have you refrain from hindering Incendia Chorda's efforts to strangle us with the threat of hunger and demand our obedience. If so, I don't believe I will be mourning the man's passing very long. Oh boy.
You know, there was only one person who stood to gain from this murder, and that would be you.
If you're suggesting that those outlaws were acting on my orders, then I vociferously deny anything of the sort. However, if you are merely alluding to the possibility that someone who cares about Footfall's fate could have started a rumor on the lower levels that House Chorda's agents were looking to assert their authority on Footfall, well, then your suspicions are entirely logical, as was the man's inevitable death at the hands of the Envers. Yeah, sure. Definitely orchestrated the whole thing. Okay, but at least we can now enter the quarantine zone. My ending was very middle of the road. All my companions had good endings, but my plans not so much. Also, the Imperium hates me. Really? I thought you were playing dogmatic, Alistair.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
But I mean, the Imperium hating you doesn't really have to be a bad thing, right? I mean, I guess at the end of this adventure, the Imperium will probably also hate Edward.
Let
Kinda
us know
counting that.
dawdle.
Shadow Quarts. Just means you must launch a heresy of your own. Oh well. The question is it like a heretical heresy or an iconoclast heresy? Come on. Go. The one Horus launched. But that one was quite heretical. Quite chaos influenced. Okay, hey my friend. The foreman of Utility Crew 3 is whistling some jaunty tune. Yeah.
I wish to enter the quarantine zone.
But didn't we just get permission? Eh? The Lord Captain decided against going to the dangerous location in person. However, the Leech believes that after the death of the last victim, the area can be safely disinfected. On the Lord Captain's orders, help has been sent to the residents of the sealed off area. Didn't I? Then I really misunderstood. I thought I was being able to go there and I wanted to do that. Well. Anyway, go to the tavern. Get half of the Space Marines to join you and allow the four gods to bless you. What could go wrong, right? Bit of both, to be honest, but with the thing I have at the end, I could cause a lot of damage to the Imperium if I wanted. And I don't even need Space Marines or the Chaos Gods. That sounds very interesting. Wonder what's going to happen. Okay, no barging into quarantined areas.
I always have a backup plan.
My, this place has so many colors. Every shade I can imagine is floating in the air. Under the floor, you can see the remains of the void ship's life support system. It seems that whoever dismantled the vessel decided to just leave it in place. Well, a void ship recycled into a tavern.
This could be an opportunity.
Exactly. Ah, it's just a backpack. Some loot. Hope it wasn't like the backpack of some of the people here, but probably it was. This seemed to be just a random citizen. I need tech use to open.
Explorator is blessed with
Package.
multifunctionality. Operation.
Stuck to the blades are lumps of sawdust, toxic waste that is sometimes passed off as ordinary nutritious starch. Ew. Oh well.
Keep your wits about you.
First explore this part, or should we go through? No, let's first explore this part here.
Is there money to be made?
Doesn't seem to be any barkeep or something.
The machine god.
The menu system of the Adeptus Amasecus is eerily similar to the design of the internal scan of the fuel compartment. Someone has inserted new data into the void ship's cogitator left over from ancient times. Don't know how healthy that is.
I always keep my
I hope they
options
clean it
open.
really nicely.
I've read about this.
I think we just now analyzed through the wall. The upholstery of the dirty sofa moves slightly. Soft hissing can be distinctly heard from the depths of the furniture. Okay, maybe I shouldn't assume that things are clean or cleaned here. Citizens. Hey, you have a name. 4 days skate off. A flabby man in worn clothes, sighing sadly over a glass of murky booze. Only when he looks up at you do you notice his eyes, large, piercing, and full of sorrow, stark contrast to his unkempt Imperiums.
Could it be that someone actually wishes to keep me company?
Could it be that someone actually wishes to keep me company? Allow me to introduce myself. Gorey Sketov, architectural historian.
You know, you look despondent over something. What happened?
Gorey sighs heavily. Here I go again, pouring my heart out to have you disappear in 10 minutes just like everyone else before you. But alright. Here's the story of Gorey Sketov, the unluckiest historian in the Imperium. I seriously doubt that. The Imperium is quite big. I was born 2 sectors away from here. My family was quite influential, which allowed me to dedicate myself to my greatest passion, the history of the Imperium architecture. I spent a number of years studying every scholarly work there was to find on this art. Then, once I had inherited my family's fortune, I traveled and documented the development of architectural thought on different worlds. Until one day, a cursed and blessed day, I came into possession of something quite special. Wonder what it is. Gordy pulls what looks like a book or an album with homemade leather cover out of his bag. Both the pages and the binding look well worn. Here it is, my undoing. This is an authentic booklet titled Dwayne's Design, one of the thousands that were printed centuries ago in the times of Footfall's construction.
What a curious read. Please, tell us more.
Cassia takes a shy step forward, but he smiles and shows her some of the faded pages. Footfall's founder, Lord Parsimus, was obsessed with his creation's grand future. This booklet describes in detail what Footfall was meant to become upon its completion. Dozens of asteroids turned into glorious palaces and temples, massive bridges spanning the void itself, the marvelous flying buttresses, the archivolts and the exterior arches, the elegant arrangement of balusters, and the interior, proliferous 10 stories tall and more than a kilometer long, cyclopean light tubes that catch the light of Furibundus and use it to brighten the halls in the heart of the asteroids, stained glass windows and mosaics, bas-reliefs and statues. Gross in his own description, Goddess stands up, starts tracing the outlines of arches and galleries with his hand. She sounds quite beautiful, and not at all like what Footfall actually looks like. Idira blinks sleepily, barely suppresses a yawn, and starts looking around with a bored expression. Edward would definitely be curious, so he keeps listening. Emerging from his reverie, he catches himself, blushes slightly, and loudly flops back on his seat. I apologize, I got carried away. But you must understand how deep an impression this booklet left on me when my young self picked it up. I simply couldn't think about anything other than Footfall. I was ready to give my life just to see this incredible station. And, of course, no matter how my friends and loved ones tried to dissuade me, I still gathered all my savings and set out on a journey. Oh. And then he went here and was so disappointed. It is no easy feat to cross two sectors, especially for a common citizen, albeit one who has some resources at his disposal. But to change one ship after another, at times being forced to stay on transfer worlds waiting for a vessel headed in the right direction or for warp disturbances to subside. The voyage took me a total of 107 years. Real space time, of course. For me, it was much less than that, somewhat in the neighborhood of 30 or 35. That is still an incredibly long time. 35 years of traveling. And then, after all those years, having spent all of my savings, I reached my dream. And what did I see? A dump in place of the exquisite portio, metal antilles clinging to the columns, the marble tiles pilfered by paupers to use as cladding for their hovels. There hangs his head. It's been a dozen years since I came here, and I still haven't recovered from the shock. I suspected that not everything from the booklet would exist in reality, but I never expected to see Footfall in such a sorry state. It is like stumbling upon the horrible, decomposing corpse of your beautiful beloved. That might be a little bit extreme. Argenta's gaze darkens. The warp, like a shameless thief, is guilty of stealing the short span allotted to her servants. But what sense is there in spending half of your life on such an enterprise, only to then lose your spirit and waste the remaining half on it at all? No, she's kinda right. So, then ink and paper too can lie and cause pain. Cassia sighs slightly. Does this mean that all I have ever read about will one day disappoint me with the ugliness of reality? In German, there's a saying which would roughly translate to paper is patient, which basically means that you can write very nice and also very fake stuff. Because, well, it's easy to lie with words, especially written. Kinda seems fitting for that.
But you know, you're an architectural historian. Is what happened to Footfall not part of its history?
Bode strokes his goatee in thought. Yes, Footfall's current appearance, slums fused together with the remains of a majestic palace, is a unique phenomenon. It would be curious to observe if other places have taken after it, thereby solidifying it as a new style of architecture, or if it still remains a local oddity. My word, you certainly know how to provide an unexpected perspective on things. Yay, being positive! Be that as it may, I just wanted to say thank you for hearing me out. Over the dozen years I've spent on Footfall, not one person has hung around long enough to listen to my story to the end. It's such a delight to have shared everything that's been weighing on my mind. I'm poor as a church mouse, but I still have something to offer you as a token of my appreciation. After studying the booklet thoroughly, I discovered something interesting. A ciphered message scattered through its pages, taking the form of a riddle, described certain places of interest on Footfall. I believe it is the work of the booklet's creators. What if these riddles lead to something? A wondrous discovery? I will gladly share what I have been able to learn with you. Riddles? Flesh of burning, almost childish curiosity brightens Cassia's austere countenance. She's really cute.
Oh, I gotta say, I'm surprised. Have you not tried to make this wondrous discovery for yourself?
I have, of course. But I'm an old man who's blind in one eye and can barely move his legs. I never found anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to find.
Alright, so tell me about the places these riddles lead to.
First location from the riddles isn't far from here. The bridge that was supposed to go through the center of this district and into the void toward the neighboring asteroid. Only a couple of its spans were built, and even those lie in ruins. Still, if the cache survived of all these years, it is there somewhere. Second location is the lantern of the Great Cathedral. Lantern is a small tower on top of a dome. You've seen Footfall's atrium, haven't you? The whole atrium is just the nave of the former little cathedral. The Legion's entire so-called palace would have fit inside what was meant to be naught but a single room. The Great Cathedral, had it been built, would have been even bigger. But, alas, its construction was just getting underway when Devane died, and the work stopped. The lantern from its dome, however, have already been built and survived. It was brought inside the atrium and dubbed the Chapel of St. Drusus the Warrior. I think we walked past that. And that is all I know. Wish you luck in your search.
Alright, I must take my leave. Good luck to you.
Interesting. More riddles. Maybe even a treasure hunt. Leftovers of pitiful food are stuck to the sides of the plates. Yeah, I probably wouldn't eat or drink here. Ah, there's Jay. So there is a bar key. But you have just a lot of bar for just one barkeeper.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
The decanter used to contain cheap amasec, which, for the sake of attractiveness, has obviously been enriched with a deodorizing agent. You want to talk with the suspicious powers? Prowlers? Say something? What? Why don't you clear off? Okay.
Let us not dawdle.
They don't want us to talk to them.